Hello, welcome to Dr. Ovi's Parent Management Training. I am Dr. Ovayoza Adeleye, a board certified child and adolescent as well as adult psychiatrist. I am also a board certified pediatrician with over 20 years experience in managing childhood behavior. And today our video is about effective timeout. So I hope you enjoyed our previous videos. I hope you understand your child's behavior better. I hope you are enforcing positive attending time. I hope you are also utilizing our mindfulness techniques. You're helping your child understand their emotions, maybe understand some of their behaviors. That might be a bit much, but understanding their emotions, you understanding the behaviors will be sufficient or suffice, as well as helping them learn to regulate when they find themselves at angry or sad or mad. We want to give them the wherewithal or the tools to understand they can switch those moods up. That means they're self-regulating their mood. So if I'm sad, I can put on my favorite movie, get some popcorn. I can put on my favorite music, break into dance. I can take a run or a jog. I could take a cold shower or hot shower. I could do my nails and paint my nails. If I'm a boy, I might want to go on out there and throw some, well, boys or girls, have some basketball outside. There's ways we can start to learn how to regulate our emotions. Don't forget to put words to those emotions. And then also ensure your child has utilized those tools and let them, what I say is build a toolbox. So we have all these tools in the toolbox and you can use whatever tool you choose to use to self-regulate. So if I'm in public, I might not be able to go play basketball. I might not be able to go take a shower. I can definitely take a few breaths. I can do some progressive muscle relaxation. I can sit back in my chair. I can close my eyes. I can go by the beach or go in the daffodil fields or wherever I choose to go. So help them understand their favorite places. Help them utilize those for imagery and relaxation. And for kids who do martial arts, don't forget that's the way to learn to self-regulate, you learn to breathe. If not, you can do some yoga videos. That's also another way to learn to self-regulate. Am I waiting only till I'm angry to do these things? No. By all means, do karate a few days a week. Practice your katas, at home. And just do that once or twice a day. Practice your instrument. Put on music. So don't wait to be at a 10 to start to self-regulate. If these become habits or practices through the day, you're hopefully not even getting to a 10. Because if you're at a 2 or 3 and feeling really calm, if I make you frustrated or irritated and you go to a 6, it's easier to regulate back down as opposed to being on edge, anxious, irritated, being at a 9 or 10, and every little thing you snap. So for kids who have anger problems is what many parents will say. They're irritable, easily angry, easily frustrated. They have tantrums and meltdowns. These are kids you want to ensure are involved in some of these activities to help them regulate and learn how to utilize their strengths and tools to self-regulate. So I hope we've reviewed a few of our previous videos and you're understanding how we got to this point. And the point we're now is giving effective timeout. So we talked about the antecedent that led to the behavior. So it might be I gave my child a direction or command. The child failed to follow through. It might be a child requested something and I refused. Whatever happened led to the B. So that was the antecedent that led to the B is the behavior. So don't forget, we're trying to be mindful. So we're identifying the mood. So my child got angry, he got sad, he got frustrated, he got anxious, whatever the word for the mood, that's the emotion they're feeling. So what we're trying to educate your child is when you're angry or sad or mad or frustrated, doesn't necessarily need to lead to a B, which is the behavior. So if we can break the cycle right there, recognize, identify the emotion and regulate, we might be able to put words to it. So there's always an option you're offering your child. So rather than have a meltdown, start to yell, throw things, hit someone, punch the wall, you could, from the B, that's my anger or frustration, you could walk away, do some breathing, do some relaxation, go outside, do whatever you need to do to calm down. And the alternative I'm always trying to offer is use your words. So use your words, say how you feel, and we, which is the parent and the child, can try to resolve that emotion or feeling you're having without a behavior or outburst. That is the alternative we're trying to offer. You can imagine how hard that is when your child is infuriated and at a 10. That might not be the best place to start having a conversation. So if you can give them a prompt, walk away, go in your room. This is where we want to talk about effective timeout. So timeout is an option rather than have a meltdown. And sometimes I say, let's have a T sign. So make a T sign. And guess what? When I'm so infuriated and I can't use words, that's sometimes helpful. When they see T, it's like, I'm going to go in my room right now. I'm not even going to say a word. So T for timeout. It might be another cue, timeout, or listen to timeout. You might want to do a timeout now rather than go all B on me, which is behavior. So effective timeout. So timeout is easy to do. It is not always something you can do in a public place, but it is very possible to do it in a public place. It might be you need to speak with the teacher at school. If this is a child who has outbursts at school, like I said, they're going to get angry. It could lead to a behavior. We could also time out, or you could say calm down. So if you want to say effective C for calm down, or T for timeout, whatever you want to call it, that is agreeable to your child. We just want to communicate what to do with those emotions. So we could have a calm down corner. To another level, we could also have a timeout space. It might be a couch. It might be a little tent behind the couch your child likes to go. You know how kids like tents? I loved tents when I was a kid. If I could fit in one, I would probably still want to go behind the sofa and cuddle. So you could maybe even put up a little tent if you have space, like in the corner, and put some pillows in there, maybe some art supplies in there, maybe a favorite blanket or stuffed toy. It could be in your child's room. You could put a recliner or a little chair with a blanket on the side. It could be in your living room, wherever you feel is an effective place for your child to time out. I like a darker area. I like a quiet space. It does not have to be any of these things. This is my timeout I'm talking about. So you get to decide what your timeout corner is going to be like. So if it's going to be a little fort, if it's going to be a little corner, if it's going to be in the child's room or your room or wherever you feel your child has a little privacy, if there's a way to have some music that's calming in the background and dark in the room, that's helpful. All the sensory stimuli coming in makes children sometimes more anxious. Noise does that as well, which is why if you've identified those are the things that make your child more irritable, you want to kind of let them have a quiet space. So decide what your timeout corner would be. And the rule of thumb for timeout, we usually use the age of the child. And some kids who have anxiety, they really don't want to be by themselves. So keep that in mind, especially if they have separation anxiety. Yes, as we develop their sense of self-worth and self-confidence, we will get to a point where they will have the ability to self-regulate by themselves in their own space and their own time. It might be that's the kind of child where you want to leave the door open. So you have to tailor the timeout experience to your specific child. Don't forget, use the age of your child as the amount of time they want to spend in timeout. And for kids with oppositional behavior who are non-compliant or defiant, I like timers because these kids are very anxious. They don't have a good sense of time. They just want to walk out the room in 2 seconds, still angry, still frustrated. So having a timer, and these are little timers you can get at the dollar store, or pretty much everyone has a phone with a timer now. But I would like something you can have in your child's room so they can hear that bell go off as a prompt. So if they're 5-year-olds, set the timer for 5 minutes. Have this set in their room. And once timeout starts, let them be. They can decide what tools they want to utilize. You already have the timeout corner all set up, or they can take a book with them, music with them. But with this kind of kids, they try to delay. So don't let them say, oh, I'm going to get a book or I'm going to get music. No. You want whatever they need already set up in the corner, like their toolbox. And once they go into timeout corner, they can pretty much utilize those tools. They can also do their breathing. They can do their progressive muscle relaxation, imagery, some yoga stretches. If they do martial arts, they can do some movements that they've practiced. Whatever you think is a good fit for your child to help them calm down, or they could just go lay in bed, take a nap. Whatever works. There's no set rule. The time is what is important. Now, once that prompt goes off or your timer goes off, they can pretty much come back, and don't forget the A, because the whole idea of the behavior was to avoid in some instances. So whatever task or chore they had to do, they can now go and complete that chore. And if they will not complete a chore, there has to be a consequence. Don't forget that. So if you handed me your tablet or handed me your phone, because we already went through the prompt, you already failed that, you failed your opportunity to follow through. Once you've completed that chore, you can get your electronic device back, or you can earn whatever you were going to have back. So in this instance, we're not necessarily using consequences as a long-term tool. We want the consequence to immediately follow the behavior. And in this case, once the behavior is completed, we want them to immediately gain that privilege back. So these are short interventions. We find those to be more effective. Now, don't get me wrong, if there's a high intensity of behavior, like they hit, they threw, they kicked, they talk back at the teacher, those are more higher intensity behaviors. So we should grade those behaviors. So not listening, not following through, we're giving those lower intensity, and we're immediately restoring privileges once the behaviors are completed. So if it's a more high intensity behavior, yes, they might go home and time out just to calm down. And then maybe a way to resolve this might be write a letter to the teacher, apologize for your bad behavior, write a letter to your parent, or whoever the offense was against. And then in these cases where it's high intensity behavior, the child has to understand the loss of privileges will be a longer period. So it might be 24 hours, it might be 48 hours. I know this doesn't sound much to some parents. We're still trying to keep it within a time zone that you can restore those privileges, because that is our way of reinforcing their positive behavior. So if I take away your tablet for 24 hours, you go to school, that's the day. You go to school tomorrow, you have a good day, I get a good report from the teacher, it's possible you might get your tablet back no later than, I would say, 72 hours. Children don't think in long-term time limits. They can't really understand or appreciate the quality or value of time. But if we keep it short and sweet, we can quickly withdraw the privilege again. So for high intensity behaviors, we can go up to 72 hours. For medium intensity, 48 hours. For small intensity, we want immediate return of privileges, or maybe 24 hours. Don't go past 24 hours, which means by the next day we have a clean slate. We're starting again. The child has an opportunity to prove you wrong and still pay positive attention to your child's positive behavior. So they did timeout. Oh, I love it when you go timeout. You don't give me any trouble. You wait till the prompt goes off. You completed the time like you should have, and you're right out. Give me a high five. Way to go. Hopefully you don't have to go to timeout again today. But don't forget, there's never too much praise. So I hope we have learned how to give effective timeout. We've set up a timeout corner or chair or table, and we've let the child understand how to utilize the space, and as well as ensure they have options in their toolbox to utilize to self-regulate during timeout. And then like, subscribe, and thank you for joining us at this video. Have a good day.